So let's go over to gouge checking. I like this one. Let's go over to gouge checking. This is really simplified drawing, but as I mentioned in the slide, when you have complex models, especially if the models come from another person, you haven't modeled them yourself, or if it comes from another program where you're importing it using neutral formats, sometimes your surfaces can get degraded. Let's put it that way. Sometimes
another important application is nesting. Profile nesting, when you created nested parts and you're selecting everything to machine using profiling, you don't want the cutter to be violating geometry next to something that you're machining. So this comes in real handy there.
And yep, you can, if you have perimeter curves and some are overlapping and some are not, they don't even have to touch. You just select the curves, and let's go into the dialog right here. All you gotta do is check this option here, perform gouge checking. And what it'll do is it'll just calculate the perimeter of those curves without violating any other curves.
Don, can you uncheck that and regenerate? I want to show them how that was happening in 2022 before.
Okay, so let's uncheck that. So that's what you would get.
Yeah, so, 2022 previously, what would happen is it would treat each curve independently and it would machine each of them independently. And so basically it's ignoring neighborhood gouge checking. So now that we have added that parameter, it will take care of not interfering with anything adjacent to the geometry that you've selected.
Yeah,
Very important.
Yeah, and 3-axis, I can just envision, like, let's just take a guitar body, for example, and and you want to cut it out, the last, operation to profile it out, but your curve geometry is kind of funky. It may not be touching or whatever. Okay. This bypasses all of that complexity, and it'll lay down a perimeter curve, profile curve around the outside for you. Okay. So it ignores all of the all of the things that can happen with curves, as you're working with them. And if you work with instrument making, you probably know what I mean, or with anything really, any 3-axis geometry. So that's a pretty good option.